Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Good morning to you, wonderful ecclesiastites and liberty lovers all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from the Bunker Eye studio, somewhere within the great grand estate of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. The call-in number is 603-835-3226. That's 835-3226. As we come at you live on this hump day, Wednesday, which is also known as Odin's Day, I do believe, November the 2nd, in the year of our Lord 2016. On this day in history, I don't know, I didn't look it up. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Well, you can't remember everything. There's a lot of history. There's been a lot of November 2nds throughout the history of mankind. And obviously there's been a lot more November 2nds before I was born than since I was born. Yes, I'm not that ancient. I'm not some 6,000 years old or more, depending on what archaeologists you're talking to. You know, every time you turn around, they're actually talking about civilization being older than what they originally thought. And this is what I say about our history. We can go so far back, and we have a good general idea of what went on and what happened going, a few millennia back. But then we lose touch with who we were and who our ancestors were. We just don't know. We don't know how they built the pyramids. We don't know how they built Stonehenge. We don't know how they did a lot of things. We speculate. But then sometimes we realize after we speculate, well, it would have taken, in order to build this massive structure or this, huge thing over this entire field here, square miles of field, it would have taken manpower that would have been greater than the number of people alive on the planet in that day. I mean, just think. I mean, there was a point when there were not 1 billion people on the planet. On the planet. I know China's got 1 billion people and India's got 1 billion people all by themselves, but there was a point in time in man's history when there weren't even 1 billion people on the planet. There was a time when there weren't even 100 million people on the planet. So if you need to have thousands of people to build a structure, where are they coming from if that type of population didn't exist? Which means that the way we say that they built these magnificent structures going way back, that's not how they did it. It wasn't sure brute force and strength. There's something else at play there. And, if you've ever watched the Discovery Channel, the Learning Channel, or any of those adventure channels, and yes, I've watched, the UFO files, whatever that was, the crazy Greek name guy, Sakalakis, whatever his name is with the crazy hair. Yeah, I've seen those. And I laugh. 90% of the time, I'm laughing at them. I'm not with them, at them. I mean, it's like, you got, everything's alien. There's nothing that humans could have possibly have done. I guess we're just too stupid. Because everything that has ever happened on this planet is ancient alien to them. So I crack up. But then every once in a while, they show something or say something that makes you go, Because then you think about what you learned in school or what you learned in college or what the Discovery Channel or all those other learning programs and PBS has said since then, since you left school, and you try to put two and two together and you say, wait a minute. Okay, I was told that it took thousands upon thousands upon thousands of man hours and laborers and slaves to build these pyramids. And then we find out, well, no, they weren't slaves. They were willingly employed. Oh, wait, but it wasn't that many because the population of Egypt would have had to have been 3 times the size that we know that it was in order to sustain such a workforce size. Like, well, then how the hell did they do it? And no, I don't go the route of, well, it was aliens. And look, there are people that, yes, there are people out there. There are quote unquote scientific theorists that believe man himself is an alien. We're not original to this planet. According to the Garden of Eden did not start on this planet. In fact, the Garden of Eden is where man landed, ancient alien landed from Mars. Look this up. I'm not making it up. There are people that believe, there are so-called scientists that believe that man comes from Mars. Well, if that's the case, and it sort of fits in with my theory that we've forgotten more in knowledge than we think that we know. We really don't know jack. There's also the theory that, if you want to be in the biblical sense, there's a theory called the pre-Adamic theory. In other words, there was an entire civilization before current man. And that's where fallen angels lived and giants and all that kind of stuff. And it was destroyed. God destroyed that civilization by water, by flood, which when Noah came around and he destroyed mankind again, that's why he said that's the last time he'd do that. Because he'd done it more than once before, according to the pre-Adamic theorist. And this also falls into play with a lot of these non-natural structures that are underwater all over the planet. We don't know how they got there. We don't know who could have possibly have built them. We don't know what's in them. I don't know why we haven't been able to breach any of them and get inside. I don't know. Maybe we're too scared to, I guess. I don't know. But there are what they call, well, they're not really underwater cities, but they call them underwater cities all over the planet. I mean, they're within the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn around the planet. They're within those latitudes, but in the Mediterranean, off the coast of Africa, off the coast of the Americas, off the coast of Asia, India. So it means that at one point that that before the Industrial Revolution, that there was a major shift in poles on this planet, and the planet kind of flipped, or the sea levels were much lower than they are now. Which means that if the sea levels have been rising, if the sea levels were once lower in order to allow, well, we know this, Alexandria. There are parts of the city of Alexandria that are in the bay, basically, and that's due to the fact that when Alexandria was built, the sea levels in that area were lower, but the Nile levels were water levels were higher, which means that the pyramids were actually closer to the River Nile than they are today. Nothing stays the same on this planet. Things are constantly in motion and constantly in change. That also goes for politics. Yeah, I bet some of you are wondering, how is he going to bring this back around to politics, Martha? Well, because nothing stays the same. They got some polls out there today. I just saw a poll this morning. I'm not really going to tell you what the poll is because I don't buy into it, but there's a poll this morning that has Trump up nationally by 9. Now, wasn't it just yesterday, Monday, I was talking about there are polls that have Hillary up by 11. How do they do that? How do we get to that point? Why is this the case? It's because polls are inaccurate and they do things. They're taken in such a way that gives the result that the pollsters want. Look, we know that if you can just change a couple of words in a question, it's going to change the outcome of the answer. I mean, you could say, do you believe that the number 13 is bad luck? You're going to get a certain percentage that says yes. But then if you switch the question around, you don't believe the number 13 is bad luck, do you? You're asking the same question, but in a different way. And you're going to get a totally different result. Now, see, pollsters know this. There's a science behind it. It's called sociology. And they know that if they have a question with certain verbiage, and those words are placed in a certain order, that they're going to get a certain result. I know none of it's fair, none of it's really accurate, because it's all bendable. You know, it's you can bend it any way you want. So if you decide to go out there and say, well, are you going to be modern and vote for Hillary Clinton? And people say yes. Okay, there's a support for Hillary Clinton. But then if you come back around and say, well, Hillary may not be winning. Do you believe that America needs to be great again and Donald Trump is the guy? Well, yeah. Okay. You can say yeah to both and really be naturally honest about it because of the way they ask the question. So no, Americans aren't necessarily lying when they're answering these polls. They're being truthful. I believe they're being truthful. But it's how they're being asked that gives the false notion that, because nobody just comes out and says, well, they rarely do. Nobody just comes out and says or asks, who are you voting for? There's always something else in there, which is why you get when you get those simple polls, who are you voting for? Like on Drudge does it, a couple other places, their numbers are always so much different than what you get from these national polls, because these national polls don't ask simple questions like that. They get all complicated and twisted, and then that way you get these numbers that just don't seem to reflect reality. Now, I'm sorry, 9 points up for Trump is not reality. It's not, for you Trump supporters, you Trumpsters out there, 9, yeah, you can probably get excited about it, but it's not reality. And I keep telling you, over and over again, we don't elect our president on a national poll. It's a state-by-state issue, state-by-state only. So hopefully people will understand that. Let's take a quick call here. 731, you're live on the Rod Eccles Show. What you got?
Hey,
good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Well, I was got up and I was on Twitter and just looking and ran across something quite interesting. And it was from WRCB. Write that down. That's a Channel 3 network out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, that has already posted that we already have election results. You can't make this up. And it shows Clinton winning by 41,765,317 at 42%.
Wait, Clinton wins with 42% on a national level?
Yes,
on November 2nd.
It was actually on the 1st that they did this. Now, not only that, and then it gives this is, you know how when you're watching the final and they give the results,
yeah.
It tells the percentage of numbers that they win by, and it looks just like what you see on TV, the big colored board. I'm talking, they've already decided, and she would have 323 electoral votes, and he would have 180 some odd. They had Jill Stein at the very bottom. She'd get 5%. Others would get 5%. Johnson would get 5%. These are already made up numbers. Now, people can say what they want to, but we've known. Obviously, they were going to rig it. But this goes to a whole new level. And this should scare the living daylights out of everyone. And I want you to go to that website. Go to that channel. Everybody call them. How in the world would that be posted? It's beyond me. It is beyond me. We have a crook running for president, and they are obviously going to let her have it. And you know what? It's the most demoralizing feeling ever in the world. You work, you pay your money to have your candidate, and these big wigs think that they make the decision. Well, this is going to you know what? This just messed them up because, number one, they're going to have to figure out another way to cheat because I have these numbers written down. I have them written down and recorded. And you know what? When they come up this way, somebody's going to have to answer. And you know what? They can blow around the FBI. They can blow around who all they want to. But there's too many of us. And this is ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous. And I'm telling you what happened. Somebody on TV got their hands on this and thought, this is not right. And I think you follow me. I know Laura does. She knows who I am. She can get on my Twitter and see what I'm talking about because I retweeted it. And
that's WRBC, huh?
It's WRCB, Channel 3 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And
we'll definitely have to see what's going on with that and check it out.
Yes, man. You know what? Everybody needs to know. Everybody. I don't care who you're voting for. They don't decide. We decide. We have a democracy in this country. And these people think they're above the law. They think they can get up here and tell us what we want to hear. I no more believe she could have 42%. She couldn't get 42% of a puppy. She couldn't because nobody is that stupid.
Well, she's got the 42%. That's all she can garner. So that should give people a lot of hope. Got to run, doll. I do appreciate the information.
All right. Well, please look at that, and because I'm anxious to hear what because it was obvious.
Well,
and have a good day. And we just have to 6 days, but we have to stop this. We have to stop it.
It's getting closer, thank goodness.
Okay, thank you.
Right,
Bye.
bye-bye. We'll be right back. You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
603-835-3226 is the number to call should you wish to join me here live. We will check into the WRCB Channel 13 issue. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, clamoring around and getting things all ready for this kind of thing. Got some stuff here, and the paper pile is really deep this morning, really thick and heavy. And I got some stuff in my currently cigar nicotine-stained fingers. By the way, I had a cigar the other day that was absolutely awesome. And I have to go, I'm going to have to go and find the wrapper because I can't remember the name of it. And it wasn't one of my, it was given to me, and it wasn't one of my normal smokes. So now I've got to go and find the wrapper so I can go and buy this thing. And if I can't buy it at my local cigar store, then I'm going to just have to order it from one of those online cigar stores. Yeah, I get myself hooked up. I hook myself up when it comes to cigars. Is it now too early to smoke a cigar? Is it too early to have a cigar and scotch? What if I get up real early in the morning? Would this be too early? I don't know. Maybe, but we'll see. Well, we got to run and take another commercial break, but we will be back, folks, so don't go anywhere. Hold on, hang on.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. Utilize that number should you wish to call in to this program. Yes, indeed. If you want to use that, then you call in. Use those digits. Say hello. And then you'll be on the air. It's that simple. You know, you dial. You just go 603-835-3226. Ring, 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 ring. Yeah, you know, some people have asked, well, why is it going to be so complicated? I didn't know dialing a phone was complicated. To tell you the truth, I just thought it was. Maybe for some people, dialing a phone is complicated. You know, all the numbers are in the same place that they've always been, right? As far as, you know, the digital format, we haven't changed them. Right, they're all in the same. I mean, if you go from rotary to digital, it's different. Obviously, the rotary, their numbers are in a circle, but the digital numbers, they're all the same. Right? You remember when the phones went from rotary to the push button, remember the numbers are in the same position that they are as they were back then, right? Anybody got an old phone, landline phone with those? The numbers, I don't think we flipped them or anything, so it's all pretty much the same. So it should be easy. I'm guessing. Is it? Wait, no, there is a problem, isn't there? Isn't it backwards? Isn't it backwards? If you're looking at your computer keyboard, and now let's think about this for a second. If you're looking at your computer keyboard, the numbers are upside down versus your telephone, aren't they? They are. Well, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at a computer keyboard versus a cell phone number. They're backwards. On the computer keyboard, the 1, 2, and 3 are on the bottom, and on your phone, 1, 2, and 3 are at the top. Who decided that kind of? No wonder some people might have a hard time calling some people. No wonder people get the wrong number sometimes. They're actually pressing the right area, but it's the wrong number depending on the device that they're utilizing. So if they're like using Skype or something and they're using their keypad to dial in a number, it might be backwards from what they're looking at on the screen, and thus they get the wrong number. Just an observation. Who came up with that system? Who designed the keyboard? Is that the way it is on calculators? No, calculators are not backwards. They're not upside down, right? They're normal. So I don't know who decided to make them backwards that way. No wonder you have to take a typing class or something in school in order to learn how to use a typewriter or a keyboard, because they make things backwards. Any event, just an observation. Go ahead. I know. Wonder how many of you right now are now comparing and looking at your cell phones versus your computer keyboards versus your calculators. If anybody still use calculators? I don't. I have them. I just don't find myself using them all that often. Well, because you got a built-in calculator on your computer, on your cell phone. You don't need a separate calculator anymore. It's part of the reason why Texas Instruments had to change their business model. They were into calculators and stuff, but nobody really uses that stuff anymore. That separate calculator. I looked into briefly during the break, what little time I had, into the WRCB TV issue, Channel 13 out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I was looking at some of their tweets. And got to tell you, they have they're a news station. Their Twitter feed is all about their. It isn't about the TV station itself. It's about their news, and they are an NBC affiliate, Eyewitness News. By the way, here in New England, there's about to be a shakeup in the television industry here in New England. I think Channel 7 here out of Boston. I think they're an NBC affiliate, and the word is that they're going to lose their NBC affiliate come January 2017. Now, I don't know who's going to be picking it up. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, Channel 7 has been NBC since its inception, basically. That's 40 years or so. I don't know what's happening. I really don't watch a lot of network TV anymore, so it doesn't really affect me. But I'm just, for all of you people who still do watch network TV and you're in New England, you're going to see a change. Evidently, you're going to see a change coming in a couple of months. But WRCB-TV apparently is the NBC affiliate out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, I did not see any yet. Just briefly seeing, trying to see what she was talking about. Now, it might have been something. Well, most likely was something that was inadvertently published or somebody leaked. And it's not going to be on the WRCB site itself. But we'll look into it. I'll put my vast network of spies to work on this, and we'll break this down and hopefully get some answers for you about this on tomorrow's program. But I'm not surprised. Look, these people, they have this scenario. This is not the first time, by the way. This would not be the first time that somebody in the media or the press has decided to go ahead and jump the gun and preprint the news before it happens. This is not the first time. We've had a major, newspaper at one point print the wrong story with the wrong presidential winner because it's who they wanted to win. And look, the press has been doing this for decades now. This is not anything new. So this is why it's not shocking or surprising to me that she found, the caller found this, or she came across it. Not across it. I'm not surprised by it at all. It's because they've been doing this for a long period of time. Now, sometimes the media has been able to successfully influence and swing the vote in the direction that they want. And sometimes they have not been. Now, right now, they're finding themselves having a very hard time convincing the American people enough to bring them close enough to where they could steal it without being discovered. Now, you have to understand, there's only so much fraud and stealing that you can do before you get caught. And before people say, well, wait a minute, that's an awful lot. No, we got to do this over again because you cheated way too much. Now, you may be able to take, a couple of states, a state here, a state there, and a state over there, but you can't take 25. People are going to notice. You can't steal 25. People are going to notice. And even those who might be in your corner at first are going to say, wait a minute. You can't be deciding elections for me. Sure, you're going to have that, 10, 15, 20% diehard on the left that are going to say, yeah, do whatever it takes. But then the rest of that support, those people, they're going to wait, but you stole it from Bernie. Or you stole it from this person too. You can't steal this stuff anymore. Our voices are not being heard. To a lot of people, that's important. So they got to be careful about how much cheating you do. You can only do so much. And trust me, a lot of this stuff is in a coordinated effort. These are not individual lone wolves out there. Just sure, there are some lone wolves committing some random acts of thievery, voter thievery, but for the most part, this is all coordinated, and we can see a lot of this stuff. A lot of the hacked emails that we've been getting. A lot of this stuff is coordinated. It has to be, in order for them not to get caught. But right now, the things are so tight and so close, and they didn't expect it to be this close. I mean, it's so tight that I just got I saw something this morning, and I have it here in the paper pile, about Variety magazine. Anybody know what Variety is? Variety magazine is it's the entertainment industry monthly Bible, right? And it's where a lot, the movie stars and music stars, they all read this stuff every month. No, to me, it's a bunch of balderdash, a bunch of BS, a bunch of, overpaid and overconfident and overrated stars, entertainment stars, patting themselves on the back and getting, wonderful press for the most part. But so if you're into video, TV, film. Video is big now. What I mean by, YouTube and all the YouTube alternatives, and there are YouTube alternatives out there, by the way, as well as, individual. Look, people are, you can start your own TV network now. Do you realize that? With this digital age and the internet, you can start your own TV network. Look, what is it? Mark Levin is starting. Was it CRTV? Is coming next month, I think, or in January or something. I don't. I just heard about it last week. So he's doing like a Glenn Beck thing, I guess. Now, sure, you got to pay for it. What is it, like $89, $90 a year for 12 months? You get the CRTV channel, whatever that is. I don't know. I don't. What's the Glenn Beck TV, internet TV channel? I don't. There's a price for that. I don't know what the price is. I'm not interested in watching Glenn Beck, but if you are, he's got his, what is it called? Blaze TV, right? That's it. Yeah. But they're not the only two. There's others out there, and there are people that make a lot of money doing this type of stuff, and they're now getting some press in things like Variety magazine. Now, Variety just has always prided itself in being this, quote unquote neutral type of publication, not really stepping into the world of politics overtly. In other words, they've never endorsed a candidate. Well, because the race is so close now, the left is pulling out all the stops. And for the first time in Variety magazine history, they're endorsing a candidate for president. And yes, you guessed it, that's right, it's Hillary Clinton. Well, of course, Variety, Hollywood is not going to endorse Trump. I mean, do they want to shoot themselves in the foot? Nobody would read them after this, if they endorsed Trump. Even if some of them at Variety magazine, if some of the, I don't know, what do you call them? Journalists, reporters? I don't know what you call them. The writers? Even if some of them do go into that voting booth on Tuesday, unless they've already done early voting, and pull that lever or mark that checkbox for Trump, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. But yes, so for the first time in its 111-year history, Variety is endorsing a presidential candidate, and that candidate is Hillary Clinton. While it is commonplace for mass market newspapers like the New York Times and the Washington Post to endorse candidates, that's not the case for trade publications like Variety. But this year, the editors-in-chief and our publisher, Michelle Sorbino Stearns, yes, a hyphenated name, of course they're going to go for Hillary, feels strongly that we should buck tradition and take a public stance on this historic election for the same reason that the Atlantic endorsed Clinton, marking the only time since its 1857 founding to back a particular candidate. We didn't want to sit on the sidelines and come down on the wrong side. There's this wrong side of history. Well, if you don't endorse anybody, how are you coming down on the wrong side? What's the right side of history? Let me do an Al Gore here. You don't want to become a part of the wrong side of history. Yeah, this whole notion that you're going to be on the wrong side or the right side or this side, there is no side to history. History is history. And some people are going to look in the future and look what a bunch of idiots we were to even consider Hillary Clinton. I am sure that in the future, if they tell the truth about historical events of today, people are going to think, what kind of nut jobs were the Americans even think about trying to elect a criminal as their political leader, their president? It's insanity. That's how we're going to be remembered. Is that going to be the right side of history? I don't think so. But yeah, there you have it. So Variety in its 111-year history has never endorsed a candidate. But this year, because they don't want to be on the wrong... So it's been okay for the past 111 years to be on the wrong side of history. But all of a sudden, now they don't want to be. So they're endorsing Clinton. I know, folks. I keep telling you, you can't make this stuff up. It's just these people. You really can't make this stuff up. I wish I could. But it did. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Right? We'll take a break and be right back, folks. Don't go away. We're just getting started. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, booklet to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
Zero 3835 3226. That would be the number that you would call if you wanted to get through on my caller line here at the Rod Eccles Show. So yeah, we have Variety endorsing Hillary Clinton. We have, by the way, I know you probably heard this yesterday. Over 100 FBI agents threatened to quit over the Hillary Clinton email investigation debacle at the FBI, which is another reason why evidently Comey decided to reopen the case. I told you he was looking for a reason to reopen the case, folks. I told you that he was trying to at least make it appear that he was trying to make amends. Because there was pressure coming from the right. Look, the FBI cannot afford to lose 100 seasoned agents all at once. You know, these people were threatening to leave. I mean, that would serve as a pretty serious rebuke to Comey and the FBI, the head honchos, and they couldn't allow this to happen because it would reverberate big time in what's left of the Obama administration, and into, if it was Hillary, a new Hillary administration. Now, thankfully, the polls are all the polls now are showing, well, more than 90% of them, all the so-called real polls are showing that this is not a walk away for Hillary like they were saying it just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, well, Hillary's got it in the bag, Rod. There's no way Donald Trump can make up this. I mean, in some polls she's 15 points ahead. He can't make up the. Well, now in some polls he's up 6-9 points. National poll, not just in some state. It's everything's up in the air right now. I'm telling you, you can't turn your back on this, and you cannot not participate. This is going to be one of those times when every single vote is going to need to be counted. Every single legal, legit vote. Because in some states there's going to be mass voter fraud, because there are going to be states that are important for the electoral college numbers. And we're going to need to, if you're a Trumpster, you're going to need to be able to have enough massive numbers to overcome that fraud that is coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Now, you don't need to get disappointed or downhearted by that. Just know that if you just look at all of the excitement via the Trump rallies around the country, no matter where he goes, he's packing them in, and they're not paid participants. In some of these places you see for Clinton, I mean, some of these people are paid to be there, and you get to some places like in Florida, and Tim Kaine is only speaking to 30 people. There are local county and municipal people running for office get more people than Tim Kaine got in Florida. I mean, that's pretty sad, actually. So there is a lot of hope out there. We are keeping hope alive. We're keeping hope alive. Keep hope alive. Vote for Trump. So you just got to get out there, get your friends out there, drag all your legal citizen friends to the polls. Of course, you can't press the buttons for them, but you can tell them who they should be voting for and be honest about it. And that would be Donald Trump. We still can do this, folks. It's not out of reach yet.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Heidi-ho, good neighbors. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from the Bunkerized Studios somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. Welcome back to this Hump Day, Wednesday, November the 2nd, in the year of our Lord 2016 edition of the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, I'm the one and only Rod, Truth Hammer, Hammer of Truth. The Rod of Truth is right here behind the Freedom mic in the Bunkerized Studio, sitting in the Freedom throne, dispensing my freedom tidbits everywhere, to every corner of the globe, via Spreaker and various other networks that are out there. 603-835-3226 is the number to call if you wish to join me here live. Getting to the paper pile, but before we do, don't forget that I am going to be in about a week and a half or so. I'm going to be in California, November the 12th, which is a Saturday. I will be addressing the CFRW Northern Division's Fall Conference at the Sacramento Marriott Convention Center in Rancho Cordova, California, Saturday, November 12th. The festivities begin at 5 p.m. Of course, to get full details and how you can attend as well, go to the event marker page, whatever it is, over at facebook.com/Rod Eccles Speaker. Yes, speaker with an A, not two E's. Yeah, somebody did that. They said, well, I can't find Rod Eccles Speaker. Well, how'd you spell speaker? Well, E-E? No, it's E-A. Yeah, I mean, if you just Google the spelling, if you can't. Because look, I'm a terrible speller. I admit it. I can make fun of people for being a bad speller because I'm terrible. But if you're, you know what? If you're such a bad speller that even I notice, that's pretty bad, actually. Tell you the truth. If I didn't have, it's the one of the greatest inventions in the English language or any language has been spell check. We do have to thank Microsoft for, and Bill Gates for basically building on and making it very popular to have spell check, because that's something that I remember the old-fashioned typing, and the corrections. It's awful. You have to go back and try to correct a typing error. Well, first of all, you got to know that you spelled the word wrong. And then if you spelled it wrong where you left out a letter, well, you couldn't go back and correct that because there would be no space. So you would have to start all over. So there was something to be said about the old-fashioned typing. Those typists were perfectionists. They had to be. They had to be perfect right on every time. But you would have to go and find a dictionary just to make sure that you spelled the word correctly before you started typing it and spelling it. You had to know your spelling. Today, they don't, you don't really need to. You just keep typing. Typos, typing errors, no big deal. You just keep going because, word check and spell check and all that kind of stuff will work for you, and you just go back and you fix it. You couldn't do that with a typewriter. The original word processor. You could not do that with a typewriter. I learned on a typewriter, and I quickly was able to convert over to word processors because they were so much easier. Just saying. I would like to see all these people today, a lot of these kids today, use a typewriter. It would drive them insane. They would not be able to use it. They would not. Just saying. Millennials would not be able to use a typewriter. Here is from The Hill, hitting the paper pile now, because we got a lot to cover in this paper pile. More so than I think I've ever had before. I mean, this is donkulous what I uncovered today. It's terrible, actually. But from The Hill, Democrats are getting anxious 1 week from Election Day, with the presidential race seeming to tighten, especially in the wake of the recent shock FBI announcements. And I look, you can tell that this took many of the liberal head honchos by surprise. Because they thought for sure that they had Comey in their bag, in their back pocket. They thought for sure that they had buried this thing and it was done. They were on the move and moving forward and not looking back. And Comey did something that shocked most of them. And it rocked their worlds. It rocked their world. Why do you think this is why that they're answering in such angry tones? I mean, they sent James Carville out there. I can't believe that. That Comey, he has no integrity whatsoever now. He's out of integrity. He ain't got no more integrity. I tell you, we can't trust that James Comey. Yeah, you can't trust James Comey because he's trying to protect his integrity. Because just a few weeks ago, and a few months ago, the Democrats were all, Comey's, his integrity is impeccable. It's beyond reproach. Comey is the man. He can't be bought. Comey is it. And he dropped the case and said, there's nothing there really for us to go after. Comey is such his integrity is just so beyond reproach. Now, all of a sudden, those same people, Comey's an a-hole. Well, man, how quickly they change when they don't get their way. Now, look, those of us on the right were saying that Comey's doing the right thing. But quite frankly, I those of us on the right think that his integrity has already been breached, and he's got a lot of work to do to make up for that. Not just go after Clinton, but he just has to be basically perfect from now on in order to regain that trust from us on the right. And we're just saying this is just a step in the right direction. We're not saying all of a sudden that Comey's beyond reproach. No. What we're saying is Comey's trying to correct a mistake that he knows that he made. Now, maybe this is the wrong time for him to try to correct that mistake. Better late than never. But look, he evidently the left did something that Comey just said, oh, hell no, this ain't going forward. And he shocked them. He shocked the left. So now this is, but the problem is that this announcement from Comey, the FBI, isn't dragging Hillary down farther, faster. It isn't. You think it would. It's just hard to, it's not hard to believe. It's just extremely sad that there would be so many Americans in this country, in this day and age, that, well, maybe it's not such a surprise that they are not for law and order. They're willing, for certain people, they're more than willing to overlook the facts that they have potentially broken the law numerous times. Not just oops, I went 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit because the speed limit, changed and I didn't see the sign. It was an accident that I broke the law. I didn't mean to. I'm usually a law-abiding citizen. I mean, that's one thing. And you do it once, and you do it once in a great while. You don't do it repeatedly. You do it once in a great while. This woman has repeatedly breached the law and ethics over and over and over again, numerous times, even while knowing she was doing a lot of it. You don't set up an email server and do what she did without knowing the rules of the game. Of course she knew. She did it anyway. And we know that she did it anyway, knowing that she was doing something she shouldn't have done because of her own emails and her staffers' emails and other emails that were hacked and released and what the FBI found and all that kind of stuff. We know, but but for some reason her American supporters are like, no big deal. She lied, no big deal. All politicians lie, Rod. They all lie, so what's the big deal? She's just another politician, so it's no big deal. They all lie, we know that. But yet and still, it doesn't matter what she says or does. She still has greater than 40% support. Now, back in the day, if we're going back to the 60s and 70s, and a candidate or a current elected official was proven to have done half the stuff that Hillary Clinton has been proven to have done, they would get nowhere near 40%. No, she's not at 50%, but she's still high enough support where she could win the presidency. Now, if this were in the 60s or 70s, she wouldn't even... Jill Stein would be polling higher than Hillary right now. I'm just telling you the truth. That's the way it used to go down. Americans used to have integrity and held integrity to a high esteem. For some reason, I guess, well, I know what the reasons are, but we don't do that anymore. We just don't. Not only do we expect certain people to lie to us, to cheat, to steal, to rob, to kill even, but if they don't, we don't respect them. We seem to respect the people that do all that. It's kind of like, politicos, this ruling class that we have today, they're the new mob. They're the new mafia. Call them the political mafia. They're it. Because there was a time when people, they were afraid of and they had a healthy respect for the mafia. You didn't mess with the people in the mafia. You respected them. You may not have liked them, but you respected them. You gave them respect. You gave them their due. You understood them. You understood that they were bad guys. You understood that. You understood that they were full-fledged criminals. But you also understood that you didn't cross them. You could keep your distance. You could try to stay out of their crosshairs, but you always gave them respect and gave them their due. And in return, the mafia did have a certain code of ethics. And when that code of ethics was breached, usually the mob took care of their own who breached those ethics. But now we have a different mafia that has no code of ethics. The only code of ethics is get power, keep power at all cost. There is no code of ethics. Sure, use the old tactics of lie, steal, cheat, murder, but let's now do it in such a way where there are no rules to it. And this is what we've got now. We've got the new mafia. It's the political mafia. Hillary Clinton is a don. She's a godmother, godfather. She's a godmother. All the little minions, they go down way before the godfather goes down, or the godmother, right? That's Hillary Clinton. She's a godmother. Enough people have not been taken out under her yet, which is why she's still running around. I'm guessing, and which is why the American people still greater than 40% still support her. And until people like, some of her lieutenants get taken down, like Huma Abedin, and and others, until they get taken down first, I don't think she's going down. And she's definitely not going to lose support. The others, her lieutenants and captains, are going to have to go to jail first. I'm just telling you that's how it works. When it comes to the mob, you got to get the low-ranking fruit first before you can start reaching up higher in the tree. And frankly, we haven't gotten anybody within the Hillary mafia, or the Clinton mafia. We haven't gotten anybody on the lower rungs yet. Nobody. So it's kind of like we need the untouchables to come back and investigate the Clintons. And I'm not being facetious at all. I'm being serious, folks. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
Zero 835-3226. That is the number that you should use if you wish to get to me here on the Rod Eccles Show while the show is live, by the way. Of course, if it's, you can't get to me when we're not live. Just saying. There is SputnikNews.com, another news site to me, that is reporting. Now, I didn't look into this, but I'm thinking that this is not a U.S.-based publication, but here it is anyway. According to a former, here's a headline, exclusive source. Source of DNC Podesta leaks comes from within Washington. According to former British ambassador to Uzbekistan by the name of Craig Murray, the now infamous Podesta and Democratic National Committee emails were not leaked by Russian hackers, but by a Washington insider. And this is again, you're going offshore to find some of this interesting details. And here's another interesting detail. You know how we're told here that everybody's afraid of Trump. Nobody wants Trump to be president, and everybody wants, Hillary and across the globe. But here's something. Syria's opposition is out there saying that Clinton is a warmonger and pushing for war, and that Trump is more realistic. And we're over here being told that we can't trust Trump's finger on the nuclear button. Trump is a warmonger. Trump is going to do this, and Trump is going to war that, and war. And the rest of the world evidently views Hillary as the warmonger. All you leftist peaceniks here in this country, you're missing the fact. I guess you haven't been able to tell all of these other wonderful people around the globe that they're wrong, that Trump's the bad guy. Now can't be Hillary. Trump's the warmonger. Trump's the one you can't let have the nuclear weapon button thingy, because he's the bad one. But Hillary, on the other hand, is what we're told now that we know, but from some other countries, it's Hillary that is the bad one. They're all worried about Hillary being elected president. I don't, this whole election has just got people all over the place running for cover because they don't know what's going to happen. But if you go outside the U.S., you start to see what because our lamestream media isn't going to tell you what others are really thinking. It's just this whole propaganda machine. But what they should learn by now is that you can't hide this stuff. We have something called the internet now, or some people call it the interwebs. And You can't hide this stuff anymore. But yet they still try to do it anyway. I don't, it's just a bunch of self-absorbed, overly pampered, overpaid, unintelligent, ill-tempered people running the mainstream media today. And many of them just don't have any talent whatsoever to do what they're doing. But yet they still get paid very well to do what they do. I don't get it either. I don't.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Do you know how many investigations there are currently right now going on with the FBI as it pertains to the Clintons? Well, there's a number. 5. Yes, 5. There are 5 separate investigations going on that are investigating people in the Clinton inner circle. DailyMail.com, influence peddling, acting for Putin's ally, hiding classified secrets, and sexting. How 5 separate FBI cases are probing virtually every one of Clinton's inner circle and their families. I mean, come on, folks. You want to talk about... last time an entire group of people like this, that were this close to one another, were investigated by the FBI, was the mob, the mafia. Scale of FBI investigation into Clinton's closest aides and friends is becoming clear. Besides Uma Abedin, a swath of longtime loyalists are at the center of investigations, including Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Oh, don't tell me, don't tell us, don't say it's so. Terry McAuliffe? Really? Now, John Podesta ran the Clinton Foundation, which is under investigation, while his brother Tony Podesta is also a focus of a probe about foreign corruption. Cheryl Mills already received limited FBI immunity during a Clinton email investigation and is a key Clinton fixer. A string of other names are being looked at or have been caught up in earlier scandals, and the net keeps widening. To the extent which Hillary Clinton's key advisors are now the focus of major FBI investigations is becoming even more clear. You know, some of these people in the Clinton inner circle stretch back, their service to the Clintons stretched back to Bill Clinton back in Arkansas, and even the early days of the Clinton White House in the 90s. And these people are now being examined with a fine-tooth FBI comb in at least 5 separate individual investigations. Now, no doubt, some of these investigations will probably cross paths because they'll have, similar suspects and timelines and things like that. But to have these things start off from 5 different separate locations or directions is amazing. 5. Now, understand, folks, now I know some of you out there who are listening, you're Hillary fans, and you're saying, well, it's the Republicans' fault. Well, you have to understand the FBI is under the direct control of the Department of Justice, which is under the direct control of what? The Obama administration. Now, can you imagine if we had a Republican or a conservative president in office right now, how many investigations we'd probably have? Well, some people would already be going to trial, I'm sure, but we have 5 under an Obama administration. Now, Obama and the DOJ have been putting pressure on Comey to drop a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, we know that the DOJ is not happy that Comey's reopened the investigation on Clinton. They've been very vocal about that. Which is why Comey is saying this time, we're not going to be able to finish his investigation by by the election. And Comey's probably hoping that Trump will be the president, because if it's Hillary, none of this stuff is going to go actually get to the DOJ to be, put forth to a grand jury and possibly go to trial. No, it's not going to happen under a Hillary thing, a Hillary administration. It's not going to happen. Oh, it may happen someday after she's not in office, but by then she'll be so damn old that the courts will say she's too old to stand trial. Or she'll be dead. I really don't think she's going to live 4 years more. Folks, I'm just looking at her health, and it's still an issue. There's something majorly wrong with her. And I'm not just talking about her political beliefs here. I'm not talking about her power mad, power hungry status, but just from a human standpoint, Hillary Clinton is not a well human being. Not even for a woman of her age. And she's not that old. What is she, 69, 70 years old? She's really not that old. But I look at her, and sometimes her lack of energy, and I look at her walk, and she can't even, by herself, she has difficulties. Now, having difficulty walking, I get it. She could have knee problems. Maybe she even has a hip problem. That often happens with women who get older. They get hip problems and have to have a hip replacement. Maybe she needs that. Maybe that's her issue with walking up and down stairs and walking like she can't walk. As far as the knees, sports stars, sports people, male and female, have bad knees when they get. My father had bad knees when he got older and had to have his knees replaced. He was a basketball star. Not me. I played a lot of sports too. Hey, when I'm in my 60s or 70s, I may need to have something done with my knees. I notice every once in a while I get some aches in my knees. And because I played on them very hard when I was younger. That takes a toll. So I'm not saying just because, she can't walk that she's got health problems, but you combine that with other things. She has very poor balance, it seems, and that has nothing to do with her hips or knees. She just has a poor sense of balance, and that comes from a number of different, I'm not a doctor, but from what I understand, a number of different diseases can affect a person's balance and their equilibrium. And that becomes evident in the way that they walk. And there have been a number of doctors that have looked at Hillary and weighed in and said she has some major health issues going on there. And I believe that she does. I mean, what? In the 2 of the 3 debates, a woman had to basically lock herself away for a week or more in order to prepare. Why would you do that? I mean, do you really need to get your energy up? Do you need a week to get your energy? You don't get to do that if you're the president. You don't get to, to just take a week off and stay in bed and get your energy back up. That's just not the way, the job doesn't allow for that. So I'm thinking that Hillary Clinton does have some major health issues. Look, we know her husband, Bill, evidently he at one point, I guess, had some hard troubles. I don't know if he still does. He probably does. Bill looks terrible, to tell you the truth. He looks older than he's 70, right? He looks older. They're both not in. Now, who knows? Maybe the problem is that these two are poisoning each other. I don't know. They could be. I'm not suggesting any allegations out there that these two are trying to murder each other, Bill and Hillary, but who knows? I mean, I don't think that they really have any love for each other at this particular point in time. Maybe they are trying to off each other with cyanide poisoning or something, what was the movie where they did that? She laced the cookies and stuff. It's Flowers in the Attic. Remember that book, that novel? They turned into a movie. Probably, if you're a millennial, you probably didn't read it in school, but we did. Flowers in the Attic. Look, it's just There's something that is seriously wrong with the woman. I honestly do not believe that she's going to last 4 years in office, which means Tim Kaine, if Hillary wins the election, Tim Kaine is eventually going to be the president of the United States. And he's the last person, one of the last people I would ever want as president of the United States. They well, I'm not even going to go into Tim Kaine. But the scale of the FBI's interest in some of America's most powerful political fixers, one of them is currently a sitting governor, underlines just how difficult it will be for Clinton to shake off the taint of scandal if she enters the White House. She doesn't care about the scandal. When are people on the right in the middle of the road going to understand that she does not care about the scandal? As long as she gets the power and the position and the money that she is seeking, she doesn't care about any scandal. Hell, if she's still able to accomplish what she wants to accomplish, even with all the scandal, that just makes her believe in her own mind that she's above the law even more. She just thinks, well, I got away with it again. I can't be stopped. And when people really think that they're invincible, that's when they really start to become dangerous. Because then they start doing things, and they start doing things in such a way, in such a manner that when it does come to light, nobody will believe it. So they're able to get away with it even more. I mean, it's at the point now where, yeah, Hillary's the one that could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue in New York City and shoot a bunch of people dead and still not lose any support. I mean, I know Donald Trump's the one that said it, but I think the reality is that at this particular juncture, it would be Hillary that could pull that off. And I guarantee you somehow she would find a way that the press and the mainstream media would then tout and blast from every corner of the mainstream media. She would somehow find a way to blame George W. Bush. I shot all those people on Fifth Avenue because of George W. Bush. And the mainstream media would say, George Bush's fault for gun-toting Hillary. NRA to blame for deaths on Fifth Avenue. And she would be able to get away with it. That's how bad all of this stuff is. That's how, well, I don't, well, it is what it is, I suppose. Anyway, the left is... The left often finds itself at odds with itself, actually. Because they'll go after a Republican or a conservative or a moderate for doing certain things, and then all of a sudden they find out that one of their favorite leftists does the same thing or worse, but they got to hide it. They can't. They can't admit that there's a problem on their side. Trump lied, so did Hillary. Well, that's no big deal. It wasn't her fault. She didn't know. Hey, Bill Clinton is an accused rapist. Donald Trump is just an accused, locker room talker. But yet, somehow, Donald Trump is the bad guy. He's the sexist. And the mainstream media takes that to heart. Yeah, he's a sexist. Well, didn't he actually pay off one of his supposed victims nearly $1 million for his sexual escapades? Nobody's done that to Trump. Trump hasn't paid anybody off. Well, yeah, but Trump is still bad. Do you want your daughter to grow up and think and have that as a role model? Trump is Bill Clinton is a role model, Hillary Clinton for allowing it as a role model. I know, folks. It's all this hypocritical stuff, but you can't. Well, it is what it. By the way, because Daily Mail comes from Britain, England, and I often get headlines that come across my newsfeed that come from Daily Mail and other British publications. And I find it's interesting that the Brits are able to get news from the States that we can't get from our own media here in the States. It's an amazing phenomena. Because the Brits don't have any qualms about airing America's dirty laundry for obvious reasons. Think about that for a second. If it's something sensational and dirty, then the Brits are probably going to air it because it has to do with well, I mean, this whole thing with the Huma Abedin, this is right up their alley. And the reason why all this got started, as most people know, is because the FBI was investigating allegations about her soon-to-be ex-husband Anthony Weiner, who was supposedly sexting a 15-year-old female. Now, I will say this: at least he was At least he's accused of sexting a girl. Because far too often, another boy would have been involved in this story. I'm just saying the reality of it, folks. It seems like today that we breathe, and it's sad to say this, but we breathe a sigh of relief when a middle-aged or old man is trying to do inappropriate sexual activity with a underage girl. Because far too often they're trying to do that with an underage boy. And same with, how many of these teachers who are in their 20s and 30s are caught, having sex with their middle school male student, 13, I mean, they're even having kids with their 13, 14, 15-year-old lover. I mean, it's just, the assault of males in this country of late is just absolutely incredible. And I'm not sure that those stats, because it used to be, I used to say, well, the stats were that if, boys are 3 times more likely to be sexually abused than girls in this country. I think that number, that ratio has probably increased. It might be more like 5 to 1 now. I mean, every time you turn around, it's some young man is being sexually harangued by an older adult, be they female or male. It's just, you don't often get a adult female, molesting a minor female. That doesn't happen a lot. But, I mean, Anthony Weiner is out there. This is how this whole thing got restarted, because this guy, much like a lot of Democrats, they can't keep it in their pants and they can't keep it quiet. But, Donald Trump's the one that gets blamed for being a sexist because he had locker room talk. Well, Anthony Weiner is actually attempting to have sex with these people. Just saying. And it doesn't help that his name is Weiner either. I mean, really, it doesn't. He should know better. With a last name like Weiner, he should know better. Speaking of knowing better, just in case for those of you who care, and being in England on the British side, evidently Prince Harry is dating an American who's part black. I don't follow the royals. But I just saw this, and I'm thinking, wow, I wonder what Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mum, thinks about her grandson possibly dating somebody straight out of Compton. Hey, look, there are a lot of women like ginger men, and maybe that's just it. I know Harry has always been considered to be a very eligible world-class bachelor. Well, if you like, I happen to like ginger women, you know. Is that a bad thing to call them ginger? I don't think it's a bad term, right? It's supposed to be an affectionate term. Redheaded women can be beautiful, so I guess why not? Why can't women find redhead men to be attractive at the same time? So that's whatever. Just so you know, but it appears that all of you people who are following the Royals, it appears that Harry is off the market for now. Look, the rumor is that he's going to be asking the Queen for her hand in marriage. Not the Queen, but this woman. But anyway, so the Brits need our mess to take their minds off of their potential mess. And this could be, could this be a royal scandal? Could this be the scandal that brings down the British royalty? Stay tuned.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here, but then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, the Truth Hammer. Your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from the Bunkerized Studio somewhere within the great grand estate of New Hampshire. The call-in number this morning is still 603-835-3226. If you are a musician, a musical artiste, and if you have, if you have some original Christmas music or an original cover, I know it's kind of an oxymoron, but you know what I mean if I say original cover of an old standard. It can't be a cover of, like, say, a recently released Mariah Carey or something, but an old standard, you know, old cover of White Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, something like that. Good old-fashioned Christmas songs. Or if you have a completely original Christmas song and you want lots of people to be able to hear it, well, like I did last year, this year I'm going to do what I did last year, is play some original Christmas music during the show, during the Christmas holiday season. Now, I will give you full credit before and after the song is played. And as well as if you have a website, I will mention the website that people could go and listen to more of your music and possibly even buy it. And I do know that some people that quote unquote donated their music to me last year did benefit tremendously. They garnered some new fans. So it's possible for that to happen again this year. Now we're going to do it again this year, and hopefully it'll be an annual event where we get to help out some independent music artists. Now, all you have to do is just submit your original musical score. Now, it could be a song, it could be an instrumental song, or it could have a song. It could be a song with words. But please remember, put the Christ in it. It doesn't have to be a song about Jesus Christ, but just remember it's a Christmas song. Okay, and it has to be original or an original cover of an old standard, and you just send it in MP3 format only. I know some people like MP4. I may take that, but MP3 format is preferred. Anything WAV formats or any of the other formats will not be accepted. It has to be at least an MP3, possibly MP4 as long as we can read it. And it has to be submitted by December 5th. Now understand, there is a jurying process. You do not, just because you submit something doesn't mean that you automatically get your song played. I know some people thought that last year, and we didn't play everything that we got. But we're looking for it. So this year, again, so all you have to do is just send it to the Rod Eccles Show gmail.com. Headline, put in the subject line, Christmas song or Christmas music. Again, that's The Rod Eccles Show. It has to be that. The Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com. MP3 preferred. MP4 accepted. No other formats. But get it here by December 5th, because we'll be starting to play this stuff right after Thanksgiving. So you're gonna, and depending on what the rotation is, your song will most likely be heard more than once. So it'll be a couple of times. And look, we have a growing number of listeners here. And last year, those songs were heard by over 100,000 people in a month. So how would you like to potentially have your stuff heard by, 100,000 or more listeners that normally would not have gotten a chance to hear you? Or if you just like to, mess around with music, you can do that too. If you just like to, if you like to honor the season, you can do that. But just remember, it is Christmas. We don't do, we're not doing Hanukkah songs here, although it is Hanukkah time. But we're not doing, holiday songs. Although I guess Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a holiday song, not a Christmas song. But we're looking for Christmas songs, original. So send them over to the Rod Eccles Show at gmail.com by December 5th. And you can hear your stuff on the air here. And to a growing number of listenership. Growing fast and strong here again. Continuing at the breaking bombshell, the NYPD detectives and the chief of the NYPD, the department's highest rank under commissioner, said openly that if the FBI and Justice Department fail to garner timely indictments against Clinton and co-conspirators, the NYPD will go public with the damaging emails now in the hands of FBI Director James Comey and many FBI field offices. What's in the emails is staggering, and as a father, it turned my stomach, the NYPD chief said. There's not going to be any Houdini-like escape from what we found. We have copies of everything, and we will ship them to WikiLeaks, or I will personally hold my own press conference. Now, I don't think they're going to be sending anything to WikiLeaks. So you gotta wonder how much of this story from TruePundit.com is factual and accurate, and how much of it is just fantasy. But understand that there is this stuff that is in Aberdeen Wiener's laptop that the FBI finds necessary to investigate further. And there has been speculation. Well, I mean, look, he's sexting. The reason this whole thing got started was because Anthony Weiner was allegedly sexting a 15-year-old girl. So this whole notion that there might be sex crimes and child exploitation is reasonable to think that could be true, considering how all this got started. Just saying on that fact. And what do we have here? We have the lamestream media, including the New York Times, who keeps harping on Donald Trump's 11-year-old private conversation that had to do with locker room talk. He wasn't sexting anybody, was he? And he sure as hell wasn't sexting an underage girl. But just because he said he wanted to do a woman that he thought was beautiful, oh, that's so terrible. Is that the kind of person that you want? Well, let me ask you: Do you want your daughter to look up to a person who is going to allow men to get away with what they have been doing, that they're accusing Donald Trump of doing? That's Hillary Clinton. You know, she's an enabler. She protects these guys. Oh, some people say she protects him only because she knows that they wouldn't come after her like that. I don't know. I'm going to be. I got to tell you, I never thought Hillary Clinton was a looker. She never was really a looker. As a matter of fact, this is kind of rare. She's better looking today than she was 30 years ago. I'm serious. She really is. Not that I think that she's a beautiful woman, because she's not. I'm just saying that she's better looking today as a 70-year-old woman than when she was like 40. And that's probably going to be the same. I'm sorry, but I don't want to pick on anybody's particular looks. But is there anybody out there that thinks Chelsea is a beautiful girl or woman? No, she's probably going to look better when she's 70 than she does at 35 or 40 as well. Just saying. And Rush Limbaugh has always pointed out that the liberal movement has been the bastion for ugly women everywhere. I would have to say it's for ugly men too. It's just, the people that wouldn't get a second look. Although, there are plenty of music stars and actors and such that I don't think are, handsome or beautiful, that simply because they're on camera or on stage, everybody goes gaga over them. Well, let me give you, does anybody out there really think that Mick Jagger is hot? Are you a woman that thinks Mick Jagger is hot? Really? I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. The only reason why Mick Jagger is hot is because he's part of the Rolling Stones. Eddie Murphy once said that in one of his comedy concerts. You want to get women, just sing. Sang, he says. Just sang. You don't even have to be pretty. All you got to do is sing, and you can have as many women as you want. And if you're a woman, all you got to do is sang to the men, and you'll have. And of course nowadays, all you got to do is dress slutty, and you'll be able to have men go gaga over you as well. Look, I'm sorry, but Britney Spears and Lady Gaga are, in my book, they're not beautiful women. I mean, they're not ugly, but they're not beautiful women. But they dress slutty as hell. And all these young men just go gaga over Gaga and Britney Spears. I don't know why. And by the way, do you want your daughter to emulate Miley Cyrus, anybody? I mean, you're talking about role models and you're putting down Donald Trump for talking about beautiful women. But look at what Miley Cyrus is doing, and she's out there campaigning for Hillary Clinton. Just saying. I don't. Some people think that Miley Cyrus is the reason that Robin, what's his name? I can't think of his last name. It's why he and his wife got a divorce. I don't know, but it wasn't. Trust me, he wasn't having an affair with Miley Cyrus. Yeah, I saw that too. That was in a music awards or something. The only reason that he stayed, it was because he had to be there on stage with her. But otherwise, I think he was really trying to ignore and get away from her that particular point in time. But here's from Zero Hedge, Podesta to Mills. Kind of prophetic here. We're going to have to dump all those emails. Yes. In today's WikiLeaks release, I guess the 25th is what Zero Hedge is reporting. In today's 25th WikiLeaks release of hacked Podesta emails, one of the notable highlights is a March 2nd, 2015 exchange between Podesta and Clinton aide Cheryl Mills, in which the Clinton campaign chair says, on another matter, and not to sound like Lanny, not sure which Lanny he's talking about, I can guess, but we're going to have to dump all those emails, of which they didn't do, and I'm sure they're probably kicking themselves in the butt right now. Now, the email, which may indicate intent, was sent at the same time as the New York Times story Hillary Clinton used personal email account at State Department, possibly breaking rules, which for the first time revealed the existence of Hillary's email server. And it hit just days before Hillary's press conference addressing what, at the time, the stunning revelation that she had a personal email account and server in her home. And Podesta was saying, we're going to have to dump all those emails. Hundreds of thousands of them, literally. I mean, there's 620 or 630,000 on Uma Abedin and Anthony Weiner's laptop. I still don't understand how they get that many on there, but okay. So I don't know how many. I would find it. I guess maybe over if you're a busy person, and you communicate. That's how you communicate. You could send a hell of a lot of emails, but that just seems to be an awful lot to me. I don't think I've sent that many emails. Maybe I have over the entire course of my email life that I've sent, anywhere near that many. But in a 4-year stint, in a 4 or 8 year stint, I just can't believe that I received that many. Oh yeah, I probably received that many, both legit and spam. I get emails up the wazoo, and have to, if you're not careful, I know people who have to do this. They have to really regulate their email usage, and because otherwise they'll spend half their day, literally every day, just going through reading and answering emails, and you have to prioritize in order to get through your emails quickly. I know I do. There are certain people that I always read their emails, and I usually read them first. And there are others that I just have to scan to see if it's something that, if the headline or the subject matter is enticing enough for me to open it. Because I don't have there's no way I could go through 600,000 emails in 4 or 8 years. I mean, you can't do it. Which is why I'm just having this hard time of trying to understand how you get that many on a single computer device without knowing about it. I mean, really? I mean, do you really think you can just leave that stuff on your computer? I mean, how old is the computer? Is the laptop? That's also a legitimate question. But I guess the FBI is going to get to the bottom of it. They're going to find out. And hopefully when they find out, so will we. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
Six 603-835-3226. Of course, that is still the number that you can call to get through to me here on the Rod Eccles Show. One of the things that The Hill is asking, there's a piece from thehill.com by Heather Higgins. And she asks a poignant question. I know some people are saying, did he just say axe? Yes, I said axe, as in chopping the wood axe. Isn't that how you say it? Isn't that how you pronounce ask? You know, you ask a question. You don't ask a question. You ask a question. She asks the question. A very poignant question. A very prominent question. She asked a very solid question. And this was a question. If Democrats will rig a debate for Clinton, you know, the Donna Brazile, at least 2 questions were given to the Clinton team before the CNN debate. What won't they do? What won't they do to win? You know, we've already seen people with showing video of machines flipping a vote to Clinton in early voting. Yeah. So the question is, no matter what the election outcome next week, the media will be the big losers. Obviously, this campaign season, she writes, has seen much of the media rip off their veneer of objectivity, too often acting instead as an unofficial campaign arm working to elect Hillary Clinton. Well, this is nothing new. They've been doing this for years. They've been overt for years. I mean, they used to be covert at doing it. But now they've been very overt for Obama. They were very overt about getting Obama nominated and elected. So this thing with Clinton is nothing new. It's just now that we're remembering it again. You know, but the American people will have short tempers or short memories, so they'll forget again. But this latest revelation that the town hall moderator overseeing a Democratic primary debate gave CNN contributor Donna Brazile a peek at expected questions, and Brazile then fed Hillary Clinton's campaign staff some of the questions to come up at the primary debate against Bernie Sanders, confirms the too cozy relationships between the politicians and so-called journalists. Well, nobody ever said, we haven't said that they were journalists. We haven't said they've been journalists for a long period. And Sean Hannity says journalism is dead. I agree. It's been dead for a long time. Real true journalism has been dead in this country for a long time. In fact, you probably usually have to go offshore in order to get the truth of what's happening onshore. Isn't that pretty? We got to go to England and Britain and maybe even to Russia to get the truth of what's going on in the United States, because that media over there is probably more truly, accurately journalistic media than ours are. That's pretty sad, actually. Well, any case, quick time out. We'll be right back.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
There's some more bad news out there for the anti-Trumpers, the never-Trumpsters, the never-Trumpers, whoever you never are supporters of never-Trump. You've got some more bad news. Evidently, this is from Investors Business Daily, Trump's woman problem appears to have disappeared. And where is all that wonderful coming from? Gotta love some of these things when you go to their websites. They automatically, even when you say, do not automatically start something, they automatically start something. But anyway, here you have, because I don't want to hear some info babe talking about something she knows absolutely nothing about. But I know some people are saying, Rod, you can't say info babe. You know, that's what Rush gets in trouble for saying that. Info babe, info babe, info babe. In any event, all of this coverage of Donald Trump's crude language and misdeeds involving women doesn't seem to have hurt his standing among female voters, because these female voters know that all that is a bunch of BS. Oh, so women are saying Donald Trump had a private locker room style conversation with another guy. They were talking about beautiful women and what they would like to do to them sexually. Well, that's pretty normal talk. And the conversation was like recorded, they didn't know it was being recorded. And now you even get one of those people, it took place a decade ago, gets fired from a job that he worked hard to earn and get promoted to, because of something that was said over a decade ago. And we're supposed to be angry over this? Oh yeah. Okay. What's next? Is there gonna be an audio tape of George W. Bush coming forward, saying some pretty sex-filled things about somebody else that isn't Laura Bush? We're gonna be upset about him now? I mean, really? Donald Trump made this... Let's put it in perspective. Barack Obama was not the president at the time. In fact, he wasn't even running yet. Had he been 11 years ago? He wasn't even elected to the U.S. Senate yet, I don't think. That's how long ago this was. And yet we're supposed to think that just because of something that he said way back then, that we're supposed to just automatically just dump him. And well, we didn't do that with Bill Clinton, did we, as a nation? Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. And now we've got this young man running around out there saying that he's Bill Clinton's bastard, illegitimate black child, half black child, and he wants to prove it because he wants to get the dress from Monica Lewinsky to get the DNA off it to prove it that Bill Clinton is his daddy. Now, but hey, Bill Clinton. Here's a guy who's out there willing to get a DNA test to prove that a former president is his daddy. And yet, the left still expects us to be upset at Donald Trump for locker room talking about women. Look, I'm just happy that this is probably pretty sad to think this way, but I'm just happy the locker room talk between Donald Trump and Billy Bush was about a woman. and they weren't locker room sex talking about another guy. Because that happens. That happens. Why not? You got something against homosexuals, right? No, I don't. But you know what? I don't want to hear that. I don't. Now, you know what? The left might love Donald Trump if he did get caught locker room sex talking about another guy. That's how twisted all of this stuff is getting, if you can actually believe that. But in any particular case, it's just, I can imagine it too. I can imagine it happening. Some famous, Donald Trump needs to come out of the closet then, is what they'd be saying. Or they'd be reveling in the fact that they've outed Trump. But in that case, then he'd also be a gay guy. But, and we know how the left treats gays who are conservative, believe in the Constitution, and who are right on the right side of the political aisle. We know how they get threatened. Especially if they're from like Kentucky, Ohio, they get threatened. Country, and it's just country trash, country cowboy. Yeah, he's a disgrace to cowboys everywhere. Well, you just can't speak your mind. I don't know. If you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you say one thing, then it's bad for the other. Just saying. But in any case, women seem to not be taking that issue to heart. It's not to say that there isn't a gender gap. I mean, there's still a big one, but there's also this tweet meme going out there, tweet theme or tweet hashtag, men are sexist. And the question is being raised, well, if women only support Hillary because she's a woman, isn't that as bad as a man only voting for another man because he's a man? And of course, you're getting those people saying no because men are the ones in power. Well, no. That's about as bad as saying that black people can't be racist. Of course they can. Well, women can be sexist too. And if you're only supporting and voting for Hillary because she's a woman like you, well, that's pretty sexist. There is no difference between you and a guy voting for another guy simply because that guy's a guy over a woman. I mean, that's not what you do. If you're going to call that sexist, then the opposite side of it with the women only voting for women because they're women is also pretty sexist. Think about it. So the gender gap between Clinton and Trump is closing, and you got about a week left to go, less than a week, and if that is closing, and there's another issue out there, Clinton isn't getting the black vote out there. Evidently, in many districts where there's early voting, they're way behind. And in some cases, only half as many blacks have come out to vote early voting as they did for Obama. So that doesn't bode well for her either. I don't even know why we have this early voting crap. I really think we need to stop that. I really do. It's insane. We've had, by the time the vote is over, some places, some states, some municipalities will have their polls open for a month. Do you know how easy it is to commit fraud when you have voting that can be done over such a long period of time? Well, it's even why banana republics don't have votes that go on for weeks at a time. They got a couple of days and that's it. You get to the poll. And even if you got to walk that 500 miles, you better get there in time, or else you don't get to cast your vote. Even in some of these third world banana republics, they don't go for a month. Polls are not open for a month. Why do we do that? Well, because it makes it easier for certain people to cheat. That's the reason. There is no reason for, in this country, in modern day, for the polls to be opened. Well, it gets more people to vote. Oh, it's a bunch of bunk. Doesn't get more people to vote. We haven't seen that happen. We haven't seen more people voting because there's you can take a whole month to vote. I mean, here it is. You have early voting and you have absentee balloting. I mean, it's insane. You want to fix our voting problem? You have absentee ballots for only those people who are in the military and out of the country. If you're out of the country, you get an absentee ballot. And it has to be back in by voting day. I mean, everybody knows when voting day is. We know when it is. So get the absentee ballot, make up your mind, and make sure that it's mailed in and is postmarked by Election Day. That's when it needs to be postmarked, by Election Day. Everybody else, oh, I'm going to be out of town. Well, maybe you better be back in town in time to vote. I'm just saying, it's way too easy to just, well, I just want an absentee. No, get up and do your duty as a citizen and go vote on the day of the vote. Instead, look, there are tons of people, and they do this every 4 years. Well, I've already cast my vote, and I want to be able to change it now. Well, you were the freaking idiot that voted a month ago. That's just stupidity. Oh, this year it's November 8th. That's the day that everybody should vote. That is the day. No other day. No other day. Should be one day. Okay, maybe I'll give it to you. We'll do it 2 days. This year it should have been Monday and Tuesday, the 7th and the 8th. How's that? We're not going to do it on the weekend, but do it on Monday and a Tuesday, 7th and the 8th. There you go. You got 2 days to vote. That's it. It's all over. I mean, this is modern society. We should be able to do it in 1 day, but okay, let's just give people a benefit of the doubt. It's open all day long, and some polls are open, for 14 hours. They open at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, and they close at like 7 or 8 at night. You got plenty of time. There's no take your lunch break. In many cases, the lines aren't so long where it's going to take you an hour or two in order to vote. You just go in, and probably in about 10 or 15 minutes, you're out. You're done, and you're in, you vote, you're out. You're done. So November 8th, just get out there, and if you haven't already voted, get out there and vote. If you've already voted, oh well, then you've already done your civic duty. So stay home. Stay out of the way of people who haven't voted yet. If you've already voted, stay the hell home on November. Because the worst thing, I know this is what's going to happen. A lot of these Democrats that have already voted, they're going to be, antsy, and they're going to get up and they're going to go to the polls. Man, you got to vote for Hillary. And they're going to be pressuring people at the polls and getting in people's way. If you already voted, stay home. There's no need for you to be there. Let those people who have not yet voted, give them the courtesy and the opportunity to vote in peace. I mean, everybody's had their chance to say what they needed to say as far as the campaigns are concerned. We don't need you. When I walk to the polls, I don't want to be seeing all these people with all these, I don't care what side of the political aisle they're on. I don't need to be listening and seeing all these people shouting at each other and, vote this candidate, vote that candidate, vote this. And you're not going to change. You're not going to sway me. I don't think there is going to be a percentage point of people who's going to have their vote change at the poll simply because you're standing outside screaming. Stay at home. Stay the hell away. Let people vote in peace. Don't give me this. You know, you can't intimidate me. Let me tell you something. If I were to ever see any of those Black Panther people at a polling place, I'd be getting up in their face. What are you doing here? Why? Why don't you let people vote in peace? Did you vote? Yeah, good. Go home and wait like everybody else. I'd be getting in their faces, people. You wouldn't. I don't accept this intimidation tactic kind of crapola. It's not right. It's not civil. It's not civilized. I don't even think it's legal. Intimidation at the polls should not be legal. I mean, they should just say, look, there's no more campaigning is done. You can't be, anywhere near the polling place campaigning the day of the vote. I know Hillary Clinton has already done it. Bill Clinton has done it. They've been at places in Massachusetts and other places where the polls were open and they were in there openly campaigning against election rules and nothing happened to them. But maybe we should just start arresting these people. I'm not kidding. Not kidding at all. We should just start I don't care who they are. Just start arresting them. And make it an arrestable. Well, you don't need, it's just a ticket. Give them a ticket. But make it an arrestable offense. I mean, you can get arrested and get a ticket for a number of different things. Why not for electioneering? You should get a ticket for electioneering. Just saying. LA Times. This is where the presidential race stands today. Believe it or not, the LA Times has Trump at nearly 48% and Hillary Clinton at 42%. The LA Times is saying that Trump has a 6-point lead over Hillary. That's LA Times, folks. We asked voters what the chance is that they will vote for Trump, Clinton, or someone else using a 0 to 100 scale. The overall level of support for each candidate reflects the weighted average on those responses. There should be no weighted average. You just ask a simple question: who are you going to vote for? Not on a scale of 0 to 100. But basically, this has to be about who's voting for who. And the LA Times did this, and the 18 to 34-year-old group, Trump leads 43 to 40. The 35 to 64-year-old age group, Trump leads 48 to 43. And the 65 and older age group, Trump leads by 52.5% to 43%. Hillary's 43. So Trump is way up there on all the demographics. By 48 to 42%. That's the LA Times. So what's that tell you? That's got to tell you that that maybe for some people, it could be even in California, that Hillary Clinton might be in trouble in California. Now, you would think that it's automatically a blue state because it usually is. But if the numbers from the LA Times are that bad now. Now, again, hey, Trump isn't getting 50% either, except in the 65 and older group. But Hillary isn't getting anywhere near 50%. Just saying. People get all this stuff. Well, she's beating him. She's beating him. Well, she can't even get 50%, even when stuff is really, really said bad about Donald Trump. That's a problem. So when stuff comes out bad about her, that's a big problem. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
There's a story here that we're not going to have time to really get into about homeschoolers. I always ask people who are sending their kids to public schools, and we see all this stuff about public schools and how they're trying to indoctrinate people's children. And I always get the response of, well, we don't have time for homeschooling. I can't afford to send them to private school. Well, there's a story here about homeschooling and how it is changing. It's from the Washington Post. Homeschool numbers have doubled since 1999. So in other words, people are, according to the Washington Post, they're showing that people are definitely deciding to take their kids out of the indoctrination centers called public schools, and they're deciding to school their children themselves. And those kids are getting a better education, by the way, because they're actually getting a real education. And they're actually learning stuff that is real, not fake stuff. So again, I ask you, if your kid has to go to if you're sending your kid to these public centers that we call public schools, these public indoctrination centers, all I can ask is why, and you're surprised if your kid comes home and touts stuff that you don't agree with. But be that as it may, Wednesday has come to a close for me. 3 hours has just flown by. But fear not, we will be back here tomorrow, same bat time in 21 hours, to do it all over again and bring you some great information. Of course, my witty comment and commentary. Until then, have a wonderful hump day afternoon. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For now, I'm out. And no, I'm not going to go rake any leaves either. Anybody got a leaf blower?